Sorry, it's been a little bit again. Anyways, let's get down to it. It's that time of year here where I live where the salmon flies are coming out, but not only are the salmon flies coming out, the flying ants are starting to show up, and the fish here are keying in on them. So I'm going to demonstrate today how to tie a foam-bodied black flying ant. Let's get started. We're going to use some black UTC thread and 70 denier. Put that on the hook. You want to start it back here, probably right above the point of your hook, and work it on back. Probably to about that point. Okay, now we're going to take a piece of black Loco foam. The Loco foam's got the iridescent side and the black side. I'm using this simply because this is what I have. So we're going to tie when you tie your foam in here, we're going to want the black, the iridescent side up. So let's put that on, wrap forward there to the point where it's at, up there in the top. Now wrap your way back, securing this nicely as you go back. Okay, perfect. Get that tied down nice. Okay. Now we're going to take a piece of black ostrich hurl. There we go. Run your thread up out of the way there. In fact, I think I'll just go ahead and run it up to the eye to start out with. There, just to get it out of my way. Put a half hitch in there to kind of hold things in place. Get the thread cradle in here. Get that out of our way. Now you can use hackle pliers or not. I'm going to use a little pair of hackle pliers on this one just to help me get it in there more securely. I have a tendency to break this stuff, so I think I'll use the rotary function on my vise. Back. Get that secured in there. Take your hackle pliers off. Okay, there we go. Remove that. Now take a dubbing brush if you want and kind of tease some of the stuff that hold under. There we go. Now pull your foam up. Or you're going to bring that right up there to where you ended that first. Okay, just pull that foam up and pull it fairly snug, not too much, but just fairly snug up there. Do the same thing as you did when you first attached it. Go and run it up there just a little ways because there's going to be a gap in the body, kind of like what you see on a real ant. That space between the abdomen and the head is thick-iny. Make sure that's on there correctly. Looks good. Okay, now let's cut this off. I know it seems kind of odd considering we're going to tie it, we're just going to turn and tie it back in. But before we tie that in, we're going to tie in the wings, and I'm using a dark done hackle tips. You want those two to extend just past the end of the body. Okay. Now these can lay flat on the body or stick up, it doesn't really matter. Okay, now that we got that, let's take our piece of Loco foam again. Same thing, tie it in with the shiny side up, or the pearlescent side. Okay, now we're going to take some black elk hair, not a whole lot, just these are going to be the legs. You're going to want about that much, not quite that, about that much right there. Okay, bring that back square on top. Okay, now lay this up against the, you're going to want it to go, about that much of it. You don't have to worry about stacking it and leveling it out. Just put that there and then wrap that down. Now let's trim off the ends. Okay, now take those hairs and kind of separate them out just a little. Get them half on one side and half on the other. Now bring your foam forward. Keep the elk hair stroked back. Now tie it off at the head. Okay. Now lift that all back. You have to make sure, like I said, make sure you keep those legs out of the head, the eye there. Now let's wrap up there. And we'll half hitch it real quick. Or not half, excuse me. We will whip finish it. Okay. Now remove your thread. Now take the foam, push your scissors right down to where you tied it off and stretch the foam and cut it. You don't have to worry about trying to make it real pretty. Okay, now let's work the elk hair strands back forward on this. Now what you're going to do here is put your fingers from your one hand in behind those, push them forward, and now take your other hand, your other fingers, and scrunch them back so that they get all, the hair gets all bent and up on it, and that will make it look like it's the legs on the ant as it's in the water. It doesn't have to be pretty because it's like a drowning ant. So anyways, a foam black flying ant. Tie a few and give them a try. Hope you like this video. If you do, hit the like button and subscribe to us. And stay tuned for another fly coming shortly. Have a good evening.